guys, my name is Ksenia. I'm from Hungary and recently I just climbed Manaslu, the world's 8th highest peak. Yes, we made it to the summit and I thought I'm going to do a gear list, what worked, what didn't work and what I would change if I could for the next expedition. As I'm not a millionaire, I actually bought most of my stuff secondhand, or I managed to get a bargain somehow on the internet using eBay, Vinted, and other sites. So I'm not really going to go through from the most expensive to the cheapest to the most expensive. I'm just going to go through kind of randomly what we used on the trek all the way to the mountain. These are the boots I used. These ones are the Solomon Quest. I tried them in North Africa on Montukal and they did not work for me because they were brand new and I just tried to break them in, so I was a little bit concerned to use them on the trek all the way to Manaslu base camp. But make sure you wear merino socks, because if you don't wear merino socks, I think that's not gonna end well. I learned this lesson. These ones are merinos. I used about 3 pairs during the trek. These ones are really good because you don't really get sweaty and it doesn't get stinky, so you don't have to wash them too frequently. So I would say for the trekking part for that week, 2-3 socks are perfectly enough, like a midweight and a slightly more heavyweight, and maybe a liner if you feel cold. Most important boots I used are these. They look super horrible and actually very dirty. These ones are my camp booties. I could not go without these anywhere. I bought them last minute, probably about £10 on Vinted. These ones are the North Face thermal balls. They're not that slippery, but I don't really recommend them in high camps, like above camp 1, because you can slip and fall. But these ones are super warm. It's good for the trekking part, good for the mountain, and for base camp use. It's easy to wear, and yeah, you can fit big socks inside. The climbing boots I used above base camp are the La Sportiva Olympus ones. These ones are the older version with the front zip, and these ones are the double boots. So I will show you the inside. So these go inside. If you don't want camp booties, you can use these, but the bottom is quite thin and you get cold really fast. But you can use this in the tent if you want, with some socks. So these ones are going inside of these big boots. I prefer this one over the twisty one, the new version, because I find it really difficult to twist it with the big gloves. I actually prefer this older version, and they did a good service on other 6,000 meter peaks as well. The only downside of it, it's quite heavy. They woke up to crampon point in this one. It slows you down, and it's quite a chunky, rigid booty, so it's not the best, but survivable. Yeah, I got to the hospital with a grade 1-2 and on my other feet a grade 3 frostbite because of the traffic jam on the summit. So I would recommend using these merino wool summit socks. These ones are the heaviest weight you can possibly find. Like, this is how it looks like. I recommend 2 pairs because if one pair gets wet, you can still use the other one. Also, you can use them in the tent during the night because they are literally the thickest and the warmest socks you can possibly buy. I lost the other pair of this. I'm still waiting to find it. And yeah, you really slip your feet inside of your boots just over there really easily. If you don't use merinos, I find them really difficult to kind of slip them inside of the inner booty. I would use a heated socks. At least I would try to buy a pair just in case, because if you manage to catch a traffic jam and you get stuck on the summit at minus 25-28 degrees cold, you can easily get a frostbite like I did. And as a base layer, I actually had 4 pairs of these thermal merino layers. To be honest, I only used about 2 because, again, this is merino and they don't really get stinky or they don't really get wet. I think if you take about 3 pairs for a 30-day expedition, that's perfectly fine. Again, this one is about a midweight one, but you can use a heavyweight if you feel cold, I used two on the top of each other. If I was a bit colder, two mid layer or a base layer, and that was perfectly fine for me. I was not cold, not even above 8,000 meters. And on the top of this, during the hike, I only used these trekking pants. They are the OEX trekking pants. I don't know the name, but I will try to find it for you. They have some damages, but this is kind of like a soft shell pants, so inside it's insulated, not too thick, and I use this during the trekking every single day. Also on the mountain up until about Camp 3, and above Camp 3 I used the summit suit, so this was perfect. And on the top of it, if you need to use Gore-Tex, you can size up in your Gore-Tex and wear a bigger pair, and you can fit this and the two merinos underneath if you have to. This is a Gore-Tex Active from Berghaus. If you want to use Gore-Tex Pro, you can use Gore-Tex Pro. It has obviously more protection against wind. There was a really good weather with nice conditions, so this was perfectly fine for me. In fact, it was hot. And just make sure you get something with a full side zip for vent, and also in case it starts raining, you can just easily put it on your soft shell. I pretty much use this during all the rotation because the weather was not perfect in base camp, but as you head above the clouds, quite sunny and really hot, and you're going to boil in this one, so make sure you wear just like a thin merino underneath and you're gonna be fine. I've actually rented my down pants from International Sportswear. This is a shop found in Tamil, and they provide the best prices for the best quality. I do not have my own because I live in the UK, so I never need it. So for me it's just so much easier to rent, and quality was amazing. I used it up until Camp 2 and in base camp literally every single day, and it just kept me warm and dry. And I highly recommend, if you need to rent something, go to that store. I'm going to put the link on the Google Maps below and the name, so in case you are heading to Kathmandu, feel free to visit the place because you're not going to be disappointed. A jacket I got from the shopkeeper from Hi-Himal. It's super good. It's like a puffer jacket. You can actually custom make whatever you like, from down suits to down jackets, Gore-Tex pants, honestly whatever you wish. I just go further. You can see it's a really good jacket, and you can use this during the trek or the base camp. Going back to the shoes, the other one I highly recommend not to forget about, it's these cheap slippers, because you're going to go in the shower in the base camp, you need some slippers, otherwise it's very cold and obviously it's not the most hygienic. Again, in the tea houses, if you want to shower, you're going to need this. I usually don't shower in the tea houses because first of all you need to pay for it, which is not a problem, but the second of all, it's not always really hot. I've been there 2 years ago and it improved so much. Last time they barely had hot shower, they barely had Wi-Fi or electricity, and it's so much better. They improved so much in the past 2 years. But again, if you don't want to use it, you can use wet wipes, but if you need to shower, make sure you buy some cheap slippers. Also for the trekking and for base camp use, we had one t-shirt that is a short sleeve. This is a quick dry Columbia shirt. Get something that's high neck and you got a zip so you can vent in case it's hot or cold. It's just a plain quick dry t-shirt. I did not use anything else, only long sleeve if I needed to, but I had thinner ones, thicker ones, but I didn't need more than this. And obviously for the ladies, you can wear sports bra, or you can wear something that's made of either merino or bamboo, so you can wear it for more days without needing to wash. I only had about 2 pairs. I had like one sports bra and I had 2 pairs of bamboo tops, and that was enough for the whole month. I used only 3 base layers out of 5. I've taken 5, but there's no need to take so many. Again, you can reduce the weight you're taking and the amount of stuff you're taking. I only used the Nexus. It's kind of like a mid-weight one. I had a really thin Mountain Warehouse like thermal top. This is a lightweight. I used it as a base layer in case I need it for something. I used it under my summit suit during the summit push day. Definitely my most worn thermal top is this Rab Nexus thermal. It's actually really moisture wicking, so I highly recommend using a Nexus if you want to save a few grams and not to take a lot of layers. This is perfect. And again, you got the zip and the high neck. You can zip it down quite a bit and have some stuff underneath, so you can see that the inside it's like this. It's just a great top to use, and literally I've worn this nearly every single day. I have like a slightly thicker version which I'm going to show you in a second. This one is a Rab. It's like a midway top kinda, and then you can put this on the top of the Nexus, but you need to size this one up so you can fit things underneath, but I didn't really use it too often. And the other one I used quite frequently if the weather was colder is this. I will try to show you properly. This is a Rab Baltoro Alpine soft shell, so you definitely need a soft shell. Usually people say get like two in case one of them gets wet. I only used this one and I didn't use any other ones. It's good to have the second one just in case, but I did not need it personally. And this is on. Size them up by a size so I can fit some layers underneath in case I needed to, but also for ventilation purposes. It's a sun hoodie. You have to get something like this when you are trekking, because otherwise you're gonna burn like me. I'm probably gonna cut a picture in how I look like down in Samagon. I went for a coffee and approximately half an hour later I just looked red, and I still have some tan on my shoulders. This one is a very lightweight top and you have to put this on your head, and yeah, it just kind of protects you from the sun if you don't want to put sun cream on. And there is another jacket I actually got from the company I climb with, AK Expeditions, 800 fill puffer jacket. Again, perfect for base camp, perfect as a little underlayer. This is how it looks like. And this is from Pioneer Camp. I had a Gore-Tex Pro jacket from the North Face, but during the trek I ended up damaging it to the degree that all the pockets just came apart and the whole thing ripped, because when we crossed Larche Pass I ended up taking my backpack off and my backpack just got caught in my Gore-Tex jacket and I ripped the whole thing. So my good friend Dawa saved me with this lovely red Pioneer Camp jacket and his company Summit Force, and this is a really good rainproof jacket. The company is new, I haven't heard about them before, but it did a really good job on the mountain. Up until Camp 3 I was wearing this really frequently, and yeah, it's quite big. It has like vents on the bottom under your armpit and a lot of pockets as well. And these ones are merinos. They are quite expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for them, but the liners sometimes can be about $40-50. It should be a lightweight or a midweight, depends on what you prefer. I actually had this one as a lightweight pair, and then I have this Rab, I think it's a Power Stretch Pro, as kind of like a midweight little soft shell ish layer in case the weather gets a little bit colder. I used it quite a bit, so you can see it's not looking that great. And as my main climbing gloves, beside my summit mitts, I use these Kailash Amadablam gloves. You cannot buy them anymore. I think they discontinued it. Really bargained these ones for about $30 from Vinted, brand new, and I only used it on Manaslu. I was very curious how they're gonna do, but and super efficient. You got the leather bottom, kind of similar to the guide gloves, but a little bit chunkier. These ones are the Rab Storm gloves. I've used them during the trekking when it was colder, but it was actually not that cold, so I only ended up using it for just like a couple of minutes, like maybe half an hour during the Larkepas day in the morning, because obviously we woke up super early to get through Larkepas and it was a little bit colder. But I did not really end up using this. I used them on a 6,000 meter peak last time. But it's just good to have like an extra pair which is not too hot, not too cold, and it's kind of like a middle range climbing glove. I've used these black diamond mitts. I think these ones are not the absolute, these ones are the mercury gloves. I heard so many people using them on Everest and other 8,000 meter peaks. I was not sure about them first because they're only minus 25 degrees. With the liner it can go to minus 30. I actually did end up getting a little frostbite on 4 of my fingers. My hand was fine when I was moving, but when you are like standing waiting in a line in a traffic jam close to the summit, they did not help me, unfortunately. So my fingers froze and I had to rub my finger. I had to hit my hands together to get the blood flow moving. So I would definitely change this on colder, like in colder days, to something else, like maybe a mountain hardware gloves, or like a minus 40 glove, which I'm probably gonna get for next time if I end up going to Everest. These ones are great gloves, but maybe don't use it below minus 25 degrees. And what I used on my boots are the most essential things that takes you up on the mountain are the crampons. Obviously you need these to climb an 8,000 meter peak. It's very important to use a 12-point contact, so it means there's like 12 little spikes on the crampon. This is not what I used. I used the black diamond one. You would have to change the toe bale, and I did not have time for that, and I didn't have a rubber one because this is not really working with those chunky boots over there. So make sure that you have these big chunky rubber or plastic ones, because it's just more suitable for the Olympus boots. So how do we sleep on the mountain? You need to make sure you have a full mattress like this, at least about an R value of 2. This is 2.2. This is a 4 class one. And also you're going to need a air mattress. I've used the Sea to Summit air mattress. I actually don't know the R value. All of a sudden it's not here with me. Plus you have your minus 40 sleeping bag, and you got your clothes. You can sleep in a jacket or without, whichever you prefer, depends on the temperature. You're going to have 2 of these Nalgene bottles. Make sure you have 2 1-liter bottles. It's very important to use this because it has a big mouth and it doesn't freeze. Also, you can put cold and hot in here. So what we do, we're gonna pour hot water, we boil water, you put the hot water in here, keep it in a sleeping bag, 1 at your feet, 1 on your stomach, and the next morning it's going to be about room temperature, so you can drink it. Same when we go climbing, we use this one. This is like so old already, but I love it. I actually just attach it to my backpack or clip it in the front of my bag so I can reach it really easily. But these ones are so important, and make sure you buy the original one and not the fake one. Hats and caps and sun hoodie. I used this cap from Base Camp Above, and I had a Columbia one which had like a sun shield at the back. I used it during the trekking because it was super hot. Also, you need a wool or a fleece hat for summit push day or for colder days. I sleep in these ones in the tent as well because it's very cold, and if you don't keep your head warm you're going to get headache. The other one I used are the buffs. So I had this thin lightweight buff. This is merino wool, and I had this synthetic one. This is a mid-weight, and inside you have a little fleecy layer. This one didn't really end up using, only once. You can use it when you are like going around the base camp or you are in your tent, because it's actually really hard to breathe under this. So make sure you get something like this which is super thin, and maybe get something that's not too wide, because it ended up slipping off my face multiple times, so I had to tuck it under my goggles. which again, it's not fun. So get like a small one and a really thin one. It's very important to get maybe about 2 because you're going to wear this every single day. And also you can put it on your head, you can put it in front of your face, you can sleep in it, and you can use it for a lot of other things if you want to. And the other thing we used is obviously a harness. It looks like a mess because I still have my ropes on it. You need a set of short ropes to obviously tie your knots and tie yourself to the harness. And there is a belay device. I use the figure of 8, which is a device you can descend from the mountain. It's good to have both in case you lose one, you still have the other one to come down, otherwise you're screwed. And you need a Jumar, aka a sender. This is a little bit small because if you wear your gloves you cannot put your hand through properly, and you kind of have to push it up, you don't come back down on the rope. So this is like a really essential tool to use on an 8,000 meter peak. And just wanted to show you my favorite jacket. I bargained this for about approximately $90, and the original price is close to $500. It's the Positron Pro jacket. This is an 800 fill jacket, and you can stuff it in this little bag. I pretty much worn this every single day in the high camps during the tent time. Yeah, that was my base camp jacket basically. So it has some inside pockets. I think it's here, the deep pockets. I usually size these ones up so I can fit other layers underneath, cozier this way. So this one is a UK size 12 and I'm usually a UK size 6. But I really enjoyed wearing a bigger one because I was able to put other puffer jackets underneath or a fleece in case it was cold. But most of the time I just worn it on the top of a base layer or just a simple top. I used 2 backpacks. One for the trekking part, it's a cheap 55 liter Tibet, I don't even know what brand. So you can extend it to about 65 liters. You can stuff your things inside. And I have my technical Summit backpack. This one I used on the mountain from the base camp above. It's a 38 liter. It's an Osprey Mutant, but you can extend it to nearly 50 liters plus. You have a lot of straps on the side. You can put your foam mattress here, you can put jackets here. It's a really minimalistic backpack. It only has about 3 small pockets because pockets are heavy. So you got this small top part, and you got a zipper part, and you have space to put all your ice axe here, and that's about it. So there's no more pockets, so it takes time to get used to it. And let's move on to the electronics. Of course, I had my super old phone, iPhone 11, pre-broken as you can see, and I had my Garmin watch, non-essential. It's really good to kind of check your altitude, where you are, and your pulse oxygen, and obviously how much you slept or didn't sleep, because I had really short sleeps in the mountain with my team, and we had this healthy competition going on who had the worst sleep score of the day. I ended up winning with 17 one day during the acclimatization hike at Camp 2. I've taken a Insta360. I think this is the X3. It's a slightly older version. I never actually used this. I tried to make a summit video, but then my hands were so cold. I just ended up using it on the summit ridge and a couple more times. I wished I used it more often, but I completely forgot about it. And it's better than GoPro because it's not really dying in the cold. Power banks. In the base camp, we only have limited time to charge our devices, so the generator turns off 5 in the evening and turns on about 12 in the afternoon, so sometimes you have 4 to 5 hours to charge our devices. It's a Belkin and an Anker I've got. Both of them do like 4 charges on the phone. Plus I've got a Garmin Mini InReach 2. This is a device for communication, and you have a SOS button on the side in case something happens. If you want to communicate with your family and send some tracking details, this is a really, really good little device to carry. I usually just put it here on my backpack. and I always used it to send out messages when I arrive to camps, so my family knows where I am and I'm safe. And yeah, I didn't regret buying this. I think I would definitely keep it. It's a really good device. I used a camera. It's a Sony A7 II. I did not carry this up on a mountain. You really want to limit your weight there, so that's why I just chose the Insta360, because it's slightly smaller and obviously it takes really good images, so you don't need to carry this big beast up on a mountain. The last electronic device I want to show you is this Peto Swift RL. This is about a 900 lumen lamp. It lasted throughout the night on a low setting. You can see I don't even know how many meters, but it was really good and I was really satisfied with this. I would definitely use this again. Other essentials: Vallon Glacier glasses and Jubo Noir Shadow Reactive. So basically what it means, that this lens, now it's clear, but when you go up on a mountain and depending on the light conditions, this lens would change into like a darker purple reddish color, so it protects you from the sun. You cannot climb without glasses, sunglasses or goggles, because you're gonna go slow blind. So these ones are, I would say, one of the most important elements of an 8,000 meter expedition. The other jacket I used is this Hugloves, I never know how to say the name, insulated jacket. I like zippers inside and pockets inside, because you can put your, this one there's no, it's just only one. You can put your phone in here, you can put your electronic devices, and it keeps it warm, obviously close to your body, and it has a hood. I really enjoy this jacket, and I worn this nearly every day in the base camp when it wasn't that cold. Have a lot of Ziploc bags full of medicines. I use lots of strepsils, antibiotics. Try not to use it too often because it makes you really weak, but just in case, obviously, anti-diarrhea tablets, aqua tubs. You're not really gonna need plenty, but just use a few aqua tubs. And what else did I have? Obviously, I have some cough medicine and pretty much everything you need when you get sick. Things you cannot live without: a sun protector, 50 plus SPF, this specifically for mountains. Same here. In this part there's like a balm for your face, it's 50 plus, and there is a kind of like a chapstick, also sun protection, and a 30 plus SPF lip balm. You are going to use this at least 20-30 times a day, so make sure you have enough and you're not gonna run out of it. I only take in this much and I still have plenty inside, and I use them every single day on the mountain. For Kathmandu and the travel part, just have this little bum bag, so you cannot lose your money or your phone. It's always on your waist. I keep my money in here. Make sure you get something that's waterproof, preferably in case the weather turns into bad, because Nepali money is made of paper, so in case you have some money in here, it cannot get damaged. You got summit suits. Sometimes you step on it with your crampon. You have little holes on your jackets. This is great. This is a duct tape. You don't need too much, but have like a small little roll just in case. And a first aid kit with the most basic stuff inside. Thankfully I never had to use this, only some cream from inside and a wipe, because I got a blister. But this is like a blister kit slash you can use it for anything and any injury, so just have one with you when you're climbing as well. And again, another thing I did not use, thankfully, this is a bibu bag. This is a thermal bag, you can see. This is like a huge plastic bag in case you get trapped on a mountain and there is a storm going on. You can just take this one out and put it on yourself, so it keeps you dry and safe. This is just in case. It's good to have it, but obviously I'm very happy that I did not have to use it and nobody else had to use it. And on the mountains sometimes you cannot eat a lot of vegetables or fruits. You do have a kitchen and you do get food, but there's no fresh fruits or vegetables, only small amounts. So I had a whole bag of these doTERRA, like super greens basically, so you have to just tear the top and drink it with water. And also this one is probiotics in case you get some stomach infection. Just make sure again you have some probiotics in any form, and even in tablet form or powder form, and have some probiotics for your stomach, because people get stomach infections all the time. Also my pills in this tiny waterproof little pot. This is all my pills. They look different, they have different colors, so I just kind of pick out every day what I need, and I try to have them every single day if I don't forget. But these ones are also from doTERRA. There's like omega-3, zinc, multivitamin. And this is my summit suit from Mountain Hardwear. I wasn't sure to buy a new one or buy a used one. I couldn't really find a women's size extra small, which is what I need. But I spent so much time on eBay, I ended up finding this secondhand. And this is how it looks from distance. And this is how we go to the toilet. You need to zip this one down. It's a rainbow zipper. So bigger than my normal size, but you got about 10 or 12 pockets, and you can put your hand inside where the patch is, and you can take this on, put this on or take them off. And yeah, you got inside pockets, and this front pocket, which I've used as actually, I put something inside, it's very sticky. And you got these pockets, you can put your phone in here and your camera. And this is how we look above Camp 3. If I could do something different and change something, that would be definitely an extra pair of gloves and wearing heated socks, and probably maybe an extra thermal layer on the top here during summit push time above Camp 4. It was a little bit cold when we reached the summit, but this was overall, obviously it's minus 50 degrees, I don't even know, but this was perfectly fine with one layer. I actually worn one merino underlayer on the top and one merino underlayer on the bottom, but I wouldn't change anything beside the gloves. I think that was my biggest issue up on the mountain, and obviously the sock issue. But beside that, I tried and tested all my gear, and I'm perfectly happy with everything I've used. I would definitely try new stuff, maybe lighter carabiners, and maybe an extra, again I said, an extra pair of gloves. But beside that, everything was perfect, and I got away with a mild frostbite on my feet and on my fingers. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, maybe comment down below and I try to answer. Also follow me on Instagram and on Facebook if you want to, and hope I can make more videos later on. Bye!